Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about jungle research. It's April the 10th. This is our 33rd day, and it's our 12th day online. Real quick, in this video we're going to be talking about the final consultation papers which are due today. We're going to talk about my term, jungle research, and we're going to talk a little bit about the next video. Please stick around for that one, because this next video, which comes out on Monday, so I'm giving you a little preview of it, deals with the next assignment. So it's going to give you a preview. You guys know how to do the next assignment, no problem, but this little preview is going to help you for those of you who can't get to the store. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about the next two assignments as well. And in case you're wondering why I keep looking over there, it's because that's where my computer monitor is. Final consultations. This assignment was originally due on April 28th, but I decided to move it up to now. The reason is that I want to know what your plan is specifically for the rest of the semester. Last semester, I met with all the students who were not earning the grades they deserved at the end. These meetings were face-to-face. They were personal. Some of them were very serious and some of them were very good. But obviously we can't do that now. And this time around, I actually want it from everyone to make sure that we're planned. Because I know for some of you guys, especially you guys who are in the science and engineering fields, you've got other classes that are pounding you right now. So I am interested in what is going on in the rest of your classes, but I do not expect you to report those plans to me. However, it is always good for you to integrate all of your final assignments together into a cohesive plan. I've made my plan for the rest of the semester, which includes grading your papers, writing a 25-page paper, writing a 22-page comic, writing a 6-page comic, drawing a 6-page comic, and a bunch of translations. Oh my gosh, it's a long plan. So, you guys get it. It's just one of those things that you have to do. So integrating everything together is really important. Oh, and not to mention writing a 7-page paper to use as a sample for this class. So that's something I'm doing as well. I want you to remember that you are planning your last month of the semester, and that you cannot turn the final paper in late. Plan accordingly. Okay? So you cannot turn the paper in late. You're planning your final month. Yeah, lots of stuff. Okay. Category 1. Remember I told you before that there were 3 categories of students in this situation. So Category 1. If you are so behind and have a few missing essays, stop what you are doing and get the late essays done. Don't do anything else. Late essays. Get the late essays done. If you haven't turned in, the revision essay, get it done. If you haven't turned in essay number 3, get it done. Do the essays. Then do the final essay. Yeah, like after you have all the late essays done, then start to work on the final essay. Statistically, anyone who finishes all 5 essays and half of the other work will at least pass the class. Your number 1 priority is to get the essays done and the final done. Then to do all the other stuff. The other work will work as a cushion once you turn in the essays. Don't worry about the lower score assignments right now. Pass the class. That's very important. Okay. Get the essays done. That's for those of you in Category 1 who don't have all the essays finished. And there's not many of you, it's very few of you. But get it done. Okay. Category 2. These are if you are running behind or missing assignments. So this is for the group of you who are running a little bit behind or missing a few assignments, but are basically close. I want to know what you are going to do to catch up. Remember, your number 1 priority is the final. Everything else has a lower priority. Your last day to turn in assignments you're running behind in is May the 7th. I want to point out that after April the 27th, I will not be generous with the grading because I will have a crush going on my end. You need to detail to me what you are going to do. Look at all the higher scoring assignments and do those first. So the ones that are worth the most points, do those first. Once those are done, then do the other stuff. And I want to let you know, if you want to go back and do some of the peer review stuff that was done before, you can't do it. Because that entails peer reviewing. It's a little late for that. Category 3. If you are on time with all of your assignments or pretty close, I want to know how you're going to make sure to stay on time. The final essay is pretty big, so make sure you program enough time in to get everything done and done well. I do not want a simple promise to stay punctual. I want specifics. Next. This is still attached to you guys who've turned in everything in on time. Some of you guys who've turned in everything on time are still earning a C or a B. I think you guys can do better. There are a number of extra credit assignments that are available to do to bring those scores up, and I've told you guys about them multiple times. It is up to you to query me about how to do that. And keep in mind, those of you who've done poorly on past essays can also query me, means contact me and say, hey, Aaron, what can I do to improve those scores? And you can still revise those previous essays to get a better grade. Okay? All right. Final thoughts about the final consultation. Be detailed. You need it, and I need it. Some of you have already turned in the final consultations. I have emailed quite a few of you back already. Some of you I've told this isn't sufficient. Some of you I've said, hey, great, you've done well. So, be detailed. I will contact you back if I don't think your plan is good enough. I've already done so. I'll continue to do so. I want a bullet list of your priorities in this class and the dates you will keep to make sure everything is turned in. This is your grade. Plan for the A. If an A is out of sight, then plan accordingly for the best grade you can get. Like I've said, right now I'm being really generous with the grading. Almost everybody who has turned in assignments in the last 3 weeks has gotten over an A on it. I've given extra points on almost all of them. If there are those of you who've earned less than that, you need to find out what's going on. And most of the time it's because you're just not following instructions. So please, you can plan for better. All right. Whew, enough of that. Let's move on to something else. So this one is about what is jungle research. This is my word. I invented it. And I did explain a little bit about what it was before. I invented this word when I had to explain to my professors about my research methodology. A lot of my professors were like, Aaron, we don't get what you're doing. You're a weirdo. Where are you getting these sources? But they're going like, it's brilliant. They apply. They all work. They just were non-traditional sources. This works for people who are busy, people who are poor, people who are custodial single parents like I was, people who have multiple crap jobs like I always did, and people who are locked behind closed doors because of an illness none of us wanted. So this is for all of us who are doing social distancing. And trust me, guys, I'm doing my social distancing. Since I got to Utah, I've only left the apartment twice. And only to the grocery store to pick up necessary items. I know, you guys are going like, what? That's not necessary. All right. Jungle research means using the resources you already have. This means taking an honest inventory of all the books, novels, magazines, instruction guides, cookbooks, comics, newspapers, and other textbooks that you already own, or that your parents own. Stuff that's in your house right now. Okay? If you want, you can use religious texts as well. Knowing what you have, the person who does jungle research then cobbles together a pool of evidence that will support a research question. So basically that means know what you have, use what you have, and it'll be great. Okay. The final essay is a research assignment. Here's the link to the Gale database. You can't click it, of course, in the video, but I will include the link in the comment section below the video. You can also go to files where this is uploaded and you'll be able to click on it there. All right. While I do not mind sending you the Gale leak, I am not going to send you the instructions for accessing JSTOR. This is one of the steps of becoming a self-sufficient university student. Don't rely on your professors for crap, to be honest. Okay? I don't mind helping you guys right now. This is your first year, but I don't, like I've told you guys in past videos, I don't go ask my professors these kind of questions. I go find out myself. Developing a relationship with the library is very important. Be friendly and patient, but also be firm so that you will be able to learn how to navigate their system. Librarians want to help you, but they often have their own way of speaking and their own way of thinking. And so you have to be patient, you have to be firm, and you have to go into the library or calling them or visiting their website with a distinct set of goals so that you know how to use their system. Okay. What happens when what you have does not match the research you want to do? The answer is simple. Change your research question and keywords until you can write an interesting paper. This means being a university student. Don't get hung up on ideals right now. Later on, you have that opportunity. Right now, you need an A. What happens if what you have does not match what you personally believe as a person? Who cares? Earn the A. Okay, so here's a little metaphor for what I used to do, okay? So I did this all the time, basically. It's the same thing. In the 2 days before payday, and I was a little short on food that worked, I would inventory the fridge and work together. I would inventory the fridge and the cabinets and create something new or at least a little bit different than before. My kids called it leftover casserole or leftover stew. I might not have liked it, but it fed the kids and kept them as healthy as a poor person could. Some of those meals were terrible. Some of those meals were terrible in my opinion. But my kids as adults still eat some of those things. They loved them. I was like, oh, all right, I guess this passes as a meal. So, like cheesy hot dog ramen, anyone? Yeah, that's my son, who's an executive chef. He's made it quite often. In fact, he's fed it to people who are worth millions of dollars, and they love it. Of course, he uses handmade ramen noodles, but, you know. All right, so what do you have? I do know that you have a number of textbooks from your other classes, and you have emerging contemporary readings for writers. You have your textbooks. You have other books. Look through those books and see if you can find any connections to what you want to write about. You know, use stuff from this semester, use stuff from last semester, it doesn't matter. If you do have the emerging book, you are not required to use the essays we already did in this class. But if you want to, you can. So let's say that you like the Coates essay. You're like, I'm going to use the Coates essay with my Holmes essay together, okay? Or you're like, you know what, last semester we used Adrian Chen. Well, why not use Adrian Chen again, right now? Keep in mind with Adrian Chen, watch out for using hate speech. Or you're going like, I want to use Lukianoff and hate. Okay, use Lukianoff and hate. Watch out for the specialized language. However, those are things you can do to make this paper work, especially since not all of us have the time or the ability to go to the library to do thorough research. That's what jungle research means. Jungle research is using what you already have without leaving your home. Make sure you use MLA to cite your materials appropriately. Purdue OWL or your handbook will work fantastically. Are you required to do this? No. But some people will find it handy. Not everybody has the time to get out of the house and do research. Okay. So, what is in the next video? The next video is about using research cards to compile your notes. So, research cards. You know, these things. We talked about these before. Okay, these are some new packs. I didn't take these to Florida with me. These were all still here in Utah. And they're nice. But again, the problem is that some people are not going to go outside during the spring break crisis of 2020. And I think that is brilliant. Please, if you don't want to go outside or you're being smart and you're just not going outside, don't go outside. The more you stay in, the better off we will all be. So what do we do about flashcards then? Ta-da! Take a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. Fold it in half. You don't have to be perfect. fold it in half, folding it into half, and then those of you who have scissors, cut it, or you can simply do that. Okay. For those of you who are not going to go out and are going to stay in, or you just can't afford to go buy cards because of lots of reasons, there it is. This works. This works well. To help you organize your cards, you have two options. You can use a highlighter, so let me show you. This is my nerd kit. It's a pencil case. Oh, just lost one of my pencils. I always have a highlighter in there, okay? Always. I also have Sharpie pens. I have multicolored ballpoint pens, okay? And I have pencils. Look at this, I also have refills, red refills for my mechanical pencil if I want to use red pencil. So there are lots of different things in here. I also have these things just in case I don't want to listen to people. Anyway, so I always have a nerd kit. So like, oh, and this pencil, I found this pencil on the floor of the CU building at FAU. So, yeah, like I said, use what you have. Don't go out and buy stuff. You can use these. These work fine. Use a highlighter and color the bottom edge. So here's the paper. You take your highlighter, you mark with your highlighter across the bottom edge to organize. So I'm going to do it real quick. Mark, 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 mark. Mark, 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 mark. And there. Ta-da! I don't have a colored card, but guess what I have? I have a yellow thing. This could mean what goes in your review of literature section of your paper. Okay? And then, wait, I also have multicolored highlighters, And so I have a blue one. And let's say I want to do the counter-argument stuff. Well, I use this, and I mark, mark, mark. So watch, I'm marking. Well, you're not gonna see it, but I mark across the bottom as well as I can without stuff getting in the way. And then, ta-da! Look at that. So, review of literature, counter-argument quotes. Ta-da! That works. Okay. If you do not have a highlighter, okay, right across the bottom of your card or paper, the section of the essay where you will be placing your quotes. So you go back to your handy-dandy nerd kit. Oh, by the way, look, green highlighter. You get out your favorite pen, which in my case is a really nice Parker pen. And you write across the bottom. I'm going to write it real quick, then I'll show you. Review of literature across the bottom. Review of literature. Or what if you want to write something else, like support paragraphs. Oops, 1 second. Okay, support paragraphs. So that's what you can do. Yeah, so use a highlighter and color the bottom edge, okay, to organize things, or use a pen to write across the bottom, or a pencil. By the way, when I write these things, 1 second, let me grab that pencil off the floor. I use pencils all the time for writing my research cards. Because what if I change my mind on the analysis or on the context? Well, if you've written in ballpoint pen, you can't erase it. But a pencil, you can. So with my research cards, I will use a pencil to do stuff. Okay, so sometimes it is impossible to get nice cards that help you organize the best. My problem when I was an undergraduate was that the cards were more expensive than I could afford. Food and rent is always the most important. It always trumps research materials. Just the way it is. The best thing to remember is that as an independent academic researcher, you cannot allow a pandemic to get in the way of efficient organization. Okay, so some of you guys have a lot of really cool materials at home too. To help you stay organized, I want to show you, give you a hint that will help. These are handy. You don't have to use this brand. You can use any brand. But this will help you stay organized. So what if you're going to write your context in light blue, your analysis in dark blue or in green, and you want to write the keywords in orange, and you want to write the MLA information in purple, and your main quote, in pencil. It works. These are a great tool for organizing. Now, you don't have to. Not everybody likes to color code. Some people are colorblind. However, for those of you who are like me or kind of weird, or just like to do it anyways and you're not weird, these are great. Why not? They are fantastic. They're a great tool. Why throw away the tools that you have? I want to show you one more. I bought these when I bought the Coke Zero, and I want to show it to you. These things. These are the big Post-it notes. A friend of mine, Dr. Brock Jones at Utah Valley University, I've known this guy for, 15 years. Brock just got his PhD 2 years ago, and he was an old guy like me. He'd been in the Army for 28 years, and then decided, I'm going to retire from the Army now as, a command sergeant major, and go back to college, get my bachelor's degree, get my master's degree, and get a PhD. And he used these. He'd write his quotes, context and analysis on the other side, all the information on the edges, whatever. And then when he was organizing his essay, he would stick them on the wall, all over the wall. And then he'd move them around on the wall according to what he needed. It's a really brilliant way of organizing. I mean, I don't do that, but that worked for him. So there are lots of ways to do this. Use what's available. If you have a bucket load of, Post-it notes at home, use your Post-it notes. They really work. These are different ways for you to do, your research cards. Okay. So the best thing to remember is that as an independent, I'm going to read this again, this is important. The best thing to remember is that as an independent academic researcher, you cannot allow a pandemic to get in the way of efficient organization. Let's look at the next couple of assignments. Tonight, you need to turn in your final consultation by 11:59 p.m. I don't care if you're late. Try to get it done, though. On Monday, you will need to turn in the research cards assignment, and on Tuesday, you will need to turn in the double entry journal assignment as well. So on Monday, research cards, look ahead. Okay, I just did a bunch of stuff about research cards. We'll go into more detail on the Monday video. And then on Tuesday, you need to turn in your double entry journal. So basically, you know what the double entry journal is. Whatever. And on the Monday video, we'll talk more about double entry journals. All right, and that's it. So in this video, we talked about final consultations, jungle research. The next video, I'm going to talk more in detail about how to do the cards, and the next two assignments, which are double entry journals and the cards, the research cards and the double entry journals. All right? Be prepared for those. Thank you so much for watching. Keep working hard. The majority of you guys are doing brilliantly. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing. Thanks so much. Thank you for your hard work. Stay safe, stay clean, and have a nice day.